Hello everyone, Australian Motorcycle News, Peter Bom here with the update from what happened on Sunday, Misano MotoGP race. It's not coincidence we're here with the Aprilia team, because that is the team, that is the manufacturer that made the difference there today. What happened? I assume you've seen the race. Marc won it. The spectacular thing was Marc had to push. I was thinking you play like you have to push, but he really had to push and dig really deep to fight against Marco Bezzecchi on the factory Aprilia, because they had their stuff sorted very well. I mean, he was faultless all weekend. Everything's perfect here. So for me, the Aprilia made a really good step closer to the Ducatis, because if you make Marc Marquez fight for a win in the long race, you have something special. So all credit is to Marco, who has been growing together with Aprilia so much over the season. Very interesting to see, and yeah, I can't give them enough praise for being here. 6 crashes, that's a bit of a lot. Maybe I said it before in the other update. On this track we crash a lot because it's narrow, but also because it has a super high grip, and it's a type of grip that is there, and suddenly it's not longer there. We come from 1 week ago from a track where you could throw in a bike, feel it coming to slide and play with it for a long time, and then complain about the lack of grip. But you feel something here. Super grip, yeah, nice, but everybody's on his ass. I mean, 6 bikes, it was not a pile up, it's just all of them crashing by themselves. That shows something. I mean, we always want more grip, but in the end when you get it, it's not always perfect. So the other thing that everybody got, except from grip, was track limits. I think literally everybody had track limits warning here in MotoGP. That's also not down to anything else than just the layout of this track. We're going in the wrong direction. It's very narrow, and you go to the green because it was not designed to be run in that track. The one that played the most with the track limits, I mean, you get track limits warning on your dashboard if you hit the green 3 times. Then you can do 1 more time and accidentally mistake, but then when you do it the 5th time, you have to do the long lap. So everybody played a little bit with it until they had the warning, and then say, okay, no mistakes anymore. So if I check the list, everybody had 3. One guy had 4, Marc Marquez, the winner. And then I checked when it happened. He had 1 in the beginning, just sort of accidentally. And then when he was given the lead, because he was more or less given the lead by Marco going a little bit wide, and then Marc took the inside line, he did it 3 laps in a row. He went wide in sector 3, which is basically pretty sure you go on the green in what is called the curvone, the super fast right-hander, which is like a kink. It's not really a corner. And he said himself that the change of the wind, the direction from where the wind came, caught him out a little bit. These bikes with all the aero, I mean, you have to dedicate to your action, but then you're in the hands of the gods of the winds in this case. And if the winds changed a little bit, you're on the green. He was really on the limit from that. Fabio Quartararo, I have to say his name again, with the Yamaha, doing everything perfect. Starting from the front row, aggressive start, putting down the laps, but it's a Yamaha, so he get overtaken for fun by everybody. And then he sort of gave up a little bit, I don't know, but then he dropped down so much that he was even within 1 second of Miguel Oliveira, who just a normal good race. I mean, Fabio, motivation is, I'm surprised he's almost always giving a very much high motivation, but I think in this race he sort of got tired from trying it and then sort of gave up. But I can imagine him getting sick of fighting with a knife in a gunfight, basically. So he got good hopes out of the V4 that was riding with the wildcard here with Augusto Fernandez. Obviously it didn't win, it didn't set the world on fire, but for the first public appearance with the V4, it was not bad. The biggest problem he had actually in the race was what you probably don't expect: fuel consumption. This track is also quite thirsty for the engine, so if you have an engine that is not very economical with the fuel, you get the warning on your dashboard, you have to change your power map and lose some power. He had to do that already after 10 laps, so more or less on 30% of the race he had to drop down the power, and the bike is not fast yet because it uses too much fuel. This is a normal thing in the development phase of a new engine. First you make it fit, then you make sure it gets enough power, then you make sure it gives the power while using less fuel, and they are not really there. Acosta lost the chain, and Acosta was actually going to give some color to this race. Pedro Acosta on the KTM, starting from 5, 6, 7, quickly going to P4, better lap times than P3, so he was probably going to finish P3, which would have been spectacularly good, but his chain broke. accidents can happen, you would say, but it's the third chain problem with the KTM in this weekend. So there is a combination of the ride height devices, the suspension, the swing arm length that makes, especially on KTM, everything a little bit more vulnerable and on the edge. So he was very, very disappointed, obviously, because if you're going for P3 and your chain breaks, that's a bit of a downer. Who else I need to speak about? Moto3, of course, Joel Kelso. Starting on the front row, together with Jacob Roulstone, he did everything perfect, leading the race for a long time, until everything heated up a little bit and the group was small enough. Then he got boxed around a little bit, the last lap even so more, but finishing a credible fourth within like half a second of the win. That is just really, really good. Then there was Jacob Roulstone, fellow Aussie guy, also starting on the front row. Didn't do very well. He finished in 11. Most of the race he was in P7, and I rewatched the race again to see was there a problem, because you're on the front row. I think there was a problem, because immediately from the first lap on, he did not really have the pace from the top guy, so he was just lucky to starting in the front. There were quickly some groups coming, and he was just all the time the last guy in the first group, hanging on in P7, and then he lost that, like disappointing. But if you, he was quite strong on Friday, he was strong on Saturday. I still have to find out, but for me there was something wrong with the setup of something with the bike. It was not the same Jacob Roulstone that we saw yesterday. And then there was Moto2, Senna Aegis, did a really good training, did a really good practice session, really good race, aggressive, not over-aggressive, saving a little bit of tires, get up to 4th place, and then he made a mistake, and then he finished in 5th. But still, I mean, it's clear to say Senna Aegis, after his crash, had a little bit of a difficult time, but he's really back there with the top guys in Moto2, which is a good place to be. Jack Miller finishing 12th, I mean, what can I say? There's not a lot else you can do with the Yamaha at the moment. So that was it from this update. Next week there is no race, but the week after we are going to Motegi, and for sure stuff will happen there, because that's, again, such a really, really different track. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you liked it. Thanks from Misano. Bye everyone.